right, this is the Boys Down Bad podcast, and we are super excited to welcome on former Nebraska baseball pitcher and now world-famous Savannah Banana, Kyle Perry. Welcome to the pod, man.
Thanks, boys. I love the Pat McAfee show as clap in there. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
You bet. We appreciate it. Wanted to start, we've seen the Savannah Bananas absolutely take over social media the past couple years. And you've recently joined the team. I'm sure everyone knows, who they are. So what has life been like since you joined?
It's been busy, man. It's been hectic. It's been really exciting and unpredictable, really is like the verbiage I'd use to describe the last couple of months. I mean, I've just been kind of in a blender with about everything I've been doing on a daily basis. But it feels like I'm a freshman again, so it's really cool. Like looking back, like as I got older through college, it was like, you became the leader, the example for like the young guys. And it's kind of like we hit the reset button, and that's sort of my placement on the team. I'm one of the younger guys. So it feels like I took a time machine back to my freshman year. That's really how I'd put it.
You bet. Was there any hazing involved when you joined the team? Or?
No. No, it's a very professional, sort of a vibe in the clubhouse, like with the guys, because a lot of these dudes went and played um, professional ball of some sort, either affiliated ball or independent ball, but they all played at least college or professional. So really professional dudes. So no hazing involved, but it's been good.
That's awesome. They call it banana ball. How would you describe banana ball in your own words for someone maybe who hasn't seen it?
It's really competitive, and I'm telling you, like the twist they've put on the game of baseball is super entertaining for a guy that came in, and I watched like 6 innings of a banana ball game on YouTube before I came down here just to get an idea of what I was walking into. But it's so fun, dude. Like every aspect of baseball that you can think of that really is like, which is a lot of it to the average fan, right? Like me being, me included, like everybody, it's hard to find people that would, say they love sitting there and watching, binge watching baseball, right? So like the walk, okay, the walk in baseball, very slow processing play. They got a ball four sprint. So if you have, if I've done it a lot actually, I've walked a few guys, and the batter takes off, my catcher throws down to second, and everybody converges around second base, and everyone's got to get a touch on the ball before I can get the ball back and deliver the next pitch to the next batter. And so this runner, say like they sail it and throw it away, like he could keep going. Like you could have a little league home run kind of happen out of a ball four sprint. But these guys are very talented, so that doesn't happen. But it really the funnest thing to watch within like the banana ball and its rules is just all those things that are different than baseball, which there's a lot of. I'm just trying to think, like obviously like everyone knows the fans catch the foul ball, so it's an out.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like I started our Sunday game in Miami at Lone Depot. And in my first inning of work, 2 fans caught foul balls for outs, and it was incredible because we all tour. I mean, that was like our 13th game, I think, and only a couple of fans have caught a foul ball. Like the crowd hasn't been looking alive. So to have 2 in 1 inning was outrageous, and it was so cool to watch because a lady that probably weighed 90 pounds caught one. Like how sick was that? And so yeah, people you expect to not see catch foul balls were making plays that day, so it was really cool.
That's awesome. Makes your job a little bit easier.
Love it, dude. It evens out though with like, guys trying to make trick plays, because those are just bound to fail at some point, right? Like it's incredibly hard to make those plays. Like those, will extend innings, and like ball four sprints like can pretty much, if the runner decides to take second, that's like a double, right? And the guy didn't even put it in play. Yep. So it evens out in its areas, but it's a really cool game to observe.
So how did the selection process go for you making the team? Was there like a tryout, or did they like specifically reach out to you? How did that process go for you?
Long story short, Coach Childress from Nebraska got an email from now my head coach here, looking for a left-handed pitcher that throws strikes, that is outgoing, yada yada yada, whatever, experienced sort of stuff, and he put my name in the drawing, and a couple phone calls later, it ended up coming to, and because it was pretty late in the process, man. Like I was considered a late signee, and I didn't even know what banana ball really was before Thanksgiving. So to kind of give you a time frame there, but that's really how it went down. I'm glad it worked out.
So a question I had, so you kind of broke it down a little bit, but people think it's just this big show, I would say, and a lot of it is, but you said that it is like a real game, right? Like you're playing real games, you're trying to win.
Yeah, yeah. It's the tour right now is tied 8-8.
Okay.
Um, it's outrageously competitive. I mean, I'm one of the young guys at 24. Um, there's a guy that was a freaking first rounder, 15th overall in 2010 on the other team that we play all the time, Jake Skull. He
Uh-huh.
was drafted 15th overall, and like after he was two picks after Chris Sale. Bryce Harper was 1-1 that year, with Manny Machado being like the third. Like you go back and look at it, it's hilarious. Just a ridiculous athlete. After his professional baseball career wrapped up, never got to the show. Was one of those guys that just didn't pan out. He went and played 4 years of football, I think, as a linebacker at Georgia. At Georgia,
Oh my
so
God.
like, yeah. So and the dude's yoked, and he plays right field for the other team, and there's so many guys that went and uh, had really competitive professional careers, and are very talented guys, great college careers that we're playing on a daily basis. So like, you have that melting pot of talent. Like it's just a big melting pot of testosterone, and guys that are competitive.
Yeah.
And so like if you just use your imagination, it's a very competitive landscape with these guys, and the bananas included. All these guys have really cool professional and college careers before coming into banana ball, and so it's a really cool atmosphere. But it's competitive between the lines, man. I like seriously, like it has its moments when it's like, okay, like entertain. It's a family friendly, so like there hasn't been any brawls, but there's been like some chirp, like there's been some legit chirp and like some edginess to the game that I didn't really suspect, was was part of the deal before I came in, and so that's been cool to see because that's real, man. Like that's what it's all about. Like everybody's been about that since they started playing, and um, I don't know what else you want to know because like that's really how it's just a competitive atmosphere. It's not just one big huge show.
On social media, it seems like it's 50-50 on people just like think it's really cool or people think it's just like they kind of just hate on it. Why do you think it gets that hate? Because like baseball, it's not the most fun sport to watch. It's something where it's different, it's fun. Like, why do you think it kind of gets that hate?
Well, bro, like there's baseball purists out there, right? Like
Right.
there's one way for things to be done. They call that old school. Um, and I respect that because in a lot of ways I love the tradition of baseball. I love the old school baseball. I mean, I'm a geek on baseball cards. Like all those old dudes, those legends. Like it's like you love the romantic touch of old school baseball. Everyone does, right? That's what you see in Bull Durham, like the natural, like that stuff. Like that's what makes the game what it is now. Um, and then a lot of people just believe that way, and that's fine. And they won't let anything break through that sort of mentality with baseball, and I appreciate that, and that's they're entitled to that opinion. Um, and trust me, in a lot of ways, I still love the way like it's done old school and like the way it was taught for our coaches growing up. That pass it down to us like this is how things are done, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's why, because there's so many things that they're expanding on in the game of baseball that's been in the game for hundreds of years, right? So it's probably people being stubborn that won't let the banana ball uh fun rule sort of, I don't know, ideas into the game. And then there's people that are like, hey, hear this thing out. So I think that's why. I think it's really just kind of an open-minded uh, game we're playing, where really they look to expand and improve every aspect of the game just for the fans' enjoyment.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Obviously, they're famous. You see them all over TikTok for the dances. Could you dance before this? And then my second question is, at practice, are you guys like working on the routines? Like, how does that work?
still can't dance, bro. Still can't dance. We're working on it, man. We're I've always had rhythm, so like I got that going for me. But two left feet, bro. It's I mean, just get the hips going, and it kind of makes up for a lot of that, a lot of the footwork. But yeah, practice. I'd say like see, I never played pro ball, but I'd say it's a very similar to what you see like spring training for big league spring training. If you go watch videos of that, it's like that. That's how our spring training was. It's how our practices really are. It's like come and get your work in, like you're treated like a professional. We have great support cast like on the baseball side of things with us, so the baseball atmosphere is wonderful, and we get that taken care of. And then usually at the end of practice, we have 30 to 45 minutes of entertainment where the stuff that is like in the script for entertainment that we know that's going to be in the show, we practice that, and it's up to us for however short or long it goes. Because imagine having just a bunch of dudes that aren't too focused and tired after practice. That's kind of what we're working with. So it's fun though. It's cool when everyone's doing the stuff that we're doing, and there's always mixed feelings over a lot of things when it comes to certain dances and stuff. Like it's a real atmosphere with these dudes. Like it's not as cornballish as you would expect it to be.
Yeah. Have you had a favorite moment so far throughout your time with the Bananas?
Yesterday in the locker room, we've been sucking on the field actually, and so um, just like we haven't gotten like our offense hasn't been going. Our pitcher's been walking too many guys, and classic baseball struggles. And freaking Bill Leroy, who's been with the team for probably ever since it came about. Um, he's the captain of the squad. He's hilarious. He's got this mullet and beard look going for him. He's short, stocky catcher. And he gets up on stilts. The guy, Dakota Stilts All Britain, the guy that does that, plays on stilts. He got into his stilts and is yelling through the doorway, like, to get it going, like throwing bats into the middle of the clubhouse. And like then everybody started jumping on a table in the middle of the clubhouse, and that's probably the coolest thing because that was like so college.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of it was a feel good moment for everybody, and so we ended up going out and playing great because of it yesterday. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Before this, what was kind of your plan after college before you started playing for the Bananas?
So I was working at an indoor facility in Waverly, called the Wave, and I had been there since September, and that was my plan for, gosh, until a better opportunity came about. I was really enjoying it. I was doing radio in Lincoln 5 nights a week with 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a pretty filled schedule. I don't. I mean, I like my relaxation time, my alone time, but I always end up filling my schedule up to where I'm, to the brim busy. So that's just how it's always been. So that's really what my plan was stay busy and keep pumping out radio shows on the nightly basis, and helping kids get better. And I was enjoying that for the time it lasted. So I wouldn't have minded doing that for however long I could.
So we kind of teased it on Twitter with Troy Dannon. Do you think there will actually be a game in Memorial Stadium, or can you tell us that?
I would love for it to happen, dude. I think it would be incredible. I think it'd be absolutely incredible. And it's like you get to thinking, it's like I think you could do a 3 game set at Memorial Stadium, and you could sell 270,000 tickets.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's really where I stand on the whole thing. I don't know the business, what the business details are there in that deal, and what's being said behind closed doors. I couldn't tell you any of that. I mean, I don't know any of it, so I'm just as clueless as you guys when it comes to that. But um, I'd be pretty proud of that if that could actually come to fruition. But yeah, I guess only time will tell. Fingers crossed, boys, because that would be outrageous. It'd be so cool because I think it's such a fan base that hasn't been tapped into. You want to talk about the old school, the old school people when it comes to like baseball purists and that mindset. Like Nebraska's full of them, brother.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the case. So it's like if you really want to bust through to that next level of like people really buying in, like get in the Midwest, get into that melting pot where people are so skeptical of this show. Like get deep in there, and they've been to Des Moines a couple times, I think, and but like it would be nothing like what you'd see in Lincoln, you know. So I don't know, boys. Fingers crossed. I would love for that to happen. That'd be so cool. Can't even imagine how much fun that would be. So I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Be insane. Yeah, I mean, we would love to see it. We would be
Yeah.
there for sure. So another thing that I love about the Bananas is the jerseys and all the merch and everything is just the style of it is so awesome. I saw that you had like a jersey coming out. Is that true?
Yeah, dude. It was just on sale for like the last 6 days this past week. Um, and yeah, but then the link closed last night at midnight.
Oh,
So
dang.
it was a
Oh,
li-
okay.
it was a limited time. It was a limited
Limited
time
edition.
thing. So I hope you guys scooped them up while you could.
That's awesome. Last question I had is like how long is their season? Like, are there a lot of games still left? Do you guys go like through the full baseball season?
Yeah, we're gonna play. Gosh, I couldn't. They told us a set number, but I'm more of the guy that I'll cross that bridge when it gets there. It's like 70, around 70 games
Yeah.
that we play. So I mean, it's a pretty long season. It's longer than the college season. Um, but our first game was February. Couldn't even tell you that. I mean, we're 15 games in right now, so we still got a long ways to go. We're going until about the middle of September. So that's kind of our timeline, and yeah, they're going to be looking to probably add on more games as like this thing evolves, really. So hard telling how long the season is in a few years.
You bet. Is there? I know you guys go to a lot of cool places and cool stadiums. Are there any big ones coming up?
Yeah, this weekend we're going to be playing at Raymond James Stadium, the home of the Buccaneers in Tampa.
Nice.
So, I mean, that's going to really be something. The field renderings were outstanding. I mean, it looks like a beautiful baseball field just in a rectangle shape. And then if you can imagine right field being like 150 feet, that's what it looks like. Crazy. So hard telling the stuff we're going to see this weekend. But yeah, that's what we got going on this weekend. And then I think it's Atlanta, home of the Braves
Nice.
after that. So I'll get to toe the mound there before Schwelly gets there. And so that'll be cool. Trying to figure out something like maybe if they have if they have his jersey or something at the fan store there, I'll try to scoop it up and maybe get to pitch in it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That'd be so.
It'd be really cool. That's a really cool thing about the job too. Like you get to be creative and like really think about what ways fit you best. And that's really been like the biggest thing with the job. Like, finding ways to do things a little bit outside the box than you normally would. So, but yeah, that's what we got going up, and then 15 more big league parks to see this year. So it'll be really fun.
Sweet. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on, sharing a little bit about Banana Ball. It's been awesome, and we can't wait to keep seeing you on social media and catch a couple games.
You got it, boys. We'll be in touch. Best of luck to you.
All right. This is the Boys I'm Bad podcast. We are back. Shout out to Kyle coming on the pod.
Yeah.
Banana Baller. What a guy.
Yeah.
I need to watch more Banana Ball.
I know.
Because they're on TV.
Yeah. I've watched a couple of games, and it looks fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get how people just like hate on it so much.
No, they shouldn't. It's awesome.
It's just different.
It is. It's fun.
Yeah.
Keeps baseball fun. Nebraska Baseball. Don't want to talk too much on it because it's just depressing, but just all-time collapse going from for sure in the tournament to not even making the Big Ten tournament. Season over.
Yeah. 12-2 just seemed. It was like, could we get to like a 5 seed?
Yeah.
Like at that point, we thought for sure 20 wins was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, we're 17, but we have 4 games left. Like, let's get to 19, see if we can win one in the tournament, probably play in a play-in game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, we only have 2 games left now. You have to win at least one just to make the Big Ten tournament, and then you have to go on a run.
Yep.
and then you lose as a 7-point favorite at home.
Yep.
In a game you have to win, because that was for the last spot.
Yep. That was for the last spot, us in Iowa.
And then you lose by 15.
Yeah, it was depressing. Juwan played well. Bryce kind of went non-existent a bit, as he would typically do when he wasn't putting up 40. It's sad, but, I mean, honestly, I didn't have a ton of faith going into this season with the roster.
No.
They surprised me for what I thought they were going to be, but it just wasn't enough to get it done down the stretch. And I think Berkey's injury hurt us a lot, actually. That was kind of when things started going bad. And it was just really sad to watch and depressing. And
it sucks that the start, how good the start was. Because, I didn't expect much from this team. I didn't expect us to make the tournament going into the year. And then it's okay, maybe Chris and Trevin are right. This team, it doesn't have a Keisei Tominaga, name.
Yep.
Where that was an exciting brand of basketball to watch. It's just going to be one of those teams that we're going to win these scrappy games. And it happened. And we had good wins, and then it just, when it didn't work, it was miserable.
Yeah.
When it was good, it was
great.
You're okay, if we have an on night in the tournament, we could win a game.
Yeah, for sure.
But our off nights are, you lose by 15 at home in a game you absolutely have to win.
Score 47 points or whatever it was against Michigan.
There were just games where the offense, there was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad for the seniors. Juwan played his heart out, obviously. Bryce balled out all year. Couple tough games, but, he was the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to replace those guys for sure.
Yeah. I saw a preview of the lineup for next year, and it's just a lot of replacing.
Yeah. We have to replace a lot.
You're going to have Connor Sejan if he doesn't transfer. Berkey, Mast, and then you probably got to go in the portal.
Yeah. Is Hoiberg? He has one more year, right?
Hoiberg, yeah. I just don't know if you can start Hoiberg.
I know. He played what he did what he was asked to do.
Yeah,
I think he played well.
He's a great role player.
Yeah. The best role player.
If you can find a way to have a team where you can only play him for 15 minutes a night.
Yep.
Which it was perfect last year. He would come in on defense when we needed stops because you had to take Keisei off the floor. But we just didn't have. When Bryce was on, it was potentially the best player in the Big Ten.
Yeah, easily.
But then it was just he would have games where he just didn't want. It looked like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
which is frustrating.
It's not the case. We know he wanted to be there, but it's it did seem that way, unfortunately.
And Fred talked about it, how the body language, the head hanging from the whole team, not just from one guy.
Yep.
Was frustrating as a coach.
Yeah.
And it's your team. The team was good enough to not make a run in the tournament, but win a game or two in the Big Ten tournament, and then literally anything can happen. We've seen a 16 seed beat a 1.
Exactly. Anything can happen.
It's not strictly about talent once you get to March Madness.
Yeah.
The round of 64, if you can just make a bunch of threes, literally anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But
yeah. It's tough to see it end that way, but proud of the guys. I think that's all we got today. Shout out to Cal for coming on. Great interview with him. Just moving on to March. It's March.
Yeah.
Big Ten, or all of the tournaments, I guess, started this week.
UNO made the tournament.
UNO made the tournament.
Won the Summit League.
They're good. Maybe best team in Nebraska.
Creighton.
They could be better.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
I
just hate Creighton.
I hate
Creighton
I would
basketball
love them
so
to be
much.
better than Creighton.
Yeah.
You just need Creighton
what
to
a
have
run.
an
embarrassing loss.
That's the only thing that'll make me happy in March.
Yeah.
Creighton losing in the first round.
Yep.
Which they'll probably find a way to make a Final Four.
Yeah. But enjoy March. It's gonna be crazy. Sit down, watch some basketball, and Be good.
Yep.
All right. This is the Boys and Bad podcast. I'm Dylan.
And Peters.
Have yourselves a top 10 weekend.